Welcome to the Festival of Entrepreneurs, recorded live at the NEC in Birmingham. Over the next few minutes, you'll hear from some of the most incredible founders, investors, and business leaders who joined us this year.
Hi, everybody. You're all hanging in there? Everyone feeling good? Crashing a little bit? No? You're on fire? You got sugar from my stand? Yeah, go get sweets from my stand. So thank you ever so much for sticking around. My name's Burton. I'm going to teach you how to increase your sales and build your brand on LinkedIn. It's one of the most amazing ways to sell right now. It's easy and it's hard, and I'm going to try and make it easier for you. So throughout the presentation, you're going to see words on the screen. If you scan that QR code, it's going to open up WhatsApp, and you can WhatsApp my number. So if you type in hello and send me a message saying hello, you'll get a selfie from me saying, hi, I'm Laura. And as we go through the presentation, you'll see words on the screen. Every time you see a word, it means that I'm sending you a resource. So it might be an AI prompt, it might be something you can download that is going to make LinkedIn a little bit easier for you. So first and foremost, what I have found from seven-figure business owners and also from those just starting out, so hands up if you are just starting out or you're a one-man band. Just one? Hands up if you've got a team. Okay, most people got a team. Okay, amazing. Just the two of us, that's a team. Two's a party, that's fine. So I've found that the problems are pretty much the same when it comes to seven-figure business owners and solo business owners. So the first thing is that hands up if you're already on LinkedIn. Hands up if you've deleted it. I don't know what to say. I'm going to inspire you. So I was going to say hands up who is procrastinating. Anyone procrastinating, thinking, I'll get on LinkedIn tomorrow? Now is not the time? Is that why you deleted it? So most people are on LinkedIn, which is amazing. How many of you have got shiny marketing object syndrome where you are on lots of different things? Is anyone trying lots of things or has tried lots of things? Show of hands if you've tried Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, blogs, website, exhibitions, partridge in a pear tree. You've literally gone for it all, right? Not TikTok. Yeah, that's the devil, isn't it? So there's these two problems where a lot of people procrastinate on actually getting on LinkedIn and making a start on their strategy. The next one is shiny object syndrome, where you actually are trying to do too much, you're trying to use too many strategies and you don't know if that's the right one for you. And the third one is, are any of you struck by inspiration maybe really late at night where you're like, tomorrow is the day I am going to post, tomorrow's the day I'm going to change the world, everyone's going to know who I am, I'm the next Stephen Bartlett. And then the next day when you actually sit down, it's like, what am I doing again? And all of that inspiration is gone. And that happens a lot with LinkedIn. So I want to get you to a place today where you not only believe in LinkedIn, but you or your sales team can actually see a definite financial return. Because if there's no return, then there's no point, is there? Unless you really, really love it. So I'm going to give you some resources and I'm going to show you what my strategy looks like. So my name's Laura. 3 years ago, I had 1,695 followers. Not ideal. Most of them HR people or people I worked with, to be honest, and now we are nearly at 28,000 followers. So you can get really fast growth on the platform without dancing on camera, without the trending audios and all of that stuff that you expect. And I've also done 15 years in HR. I have left, so I escaped that, and I've done 8 years in business, 10 years selling online, 3 years teaching online, and 2 years on LinkedIn now completely. I've been posting every day for roughly about just over 18 months and had really good success. So I've built my whole business through LinkedIn. And if you've seen me on the stand, we've got a young son. My partner also works for me, and it's just us as a business. We've just taken on 4 new people in the last few months. So we've seen exceptional growth through the platform. So I didn't start teaching LinkedIn, just so you know you can trust me, until I hit about 20,000 followers. So I've not always taught this. I've been teaching it for just over a year. Before that, I taught Instagram marketing, offer creation, funnels, your whole suite of marketing apart from design and things like SEO. But I was teaching how to sell online, and I added LinkedIn when I had proven that I could get the result and also proven that I could get the results for my clients. So this stuff works. So there's 3 things I can teach you: to get inbound and outbound leads on LinkedIn, how to grow long-term revenue, and also how to be predictable. Today, we're just going to focus on the top one. So inbound and outbound on LinkedIn. So I've got a course, it's called LinkedIn Leads and Growth Unlocked. I'm not selling it to you. You cannot buy it, don't worry. There's no, no sales pitch right now. But it teaches these 4 things. So I break down things like the algorithm, what you need to write, how to DM people to make sales, how to set up your profile. We're going to focus on 3 things. So I want you to set yourself up for sales. I also want you to write in a way that sells. The biggest skill you can have right now is writing, no matter what you're doing. Emails, blogs, anything, content, YouTube. If you know how to write, you can sell to people. And also what creates inbound leads. Because outbound is tough. Is anyone doing cold calling, cold emailing, cold DM type stuff? It's tough, isn't it? Soul destroying. What we want is people coming to us that actually really want to work with us, that are already warm. So that's what I'm going to go through. So there's a few things that you have been taught about LinkedIn and content and social media that are just not true. So the first thing is that you need ideas to create content. You don't need lots of ideas. So one of my clients just a few days ago messaged me and was like, I finally broke through the barrier of a few hundred impressions. Is anyone stuck at a few hundred impressions on LinkedIn, a few smiles? And it's annoying. And so she just broke through that and she doesn't know how to write. She's just been given a framework. So what you need is frameworks. You think you need to perform as well. So everyone's being taught that they need to perform and dance and create this viral content. LinkedIn, you don't need to do that. You need to find your ideal client and convert them through writing. You've also been taught to chase trends. I've never done a trend on LinkedIn, not once, apart from I photoshopped myself into Taylor Swift's engagement picture, which is my top performing over the last few weeks, which was good. But you don't need to chase trends. And by the way, everyone now thinks I'm engaged, so I keep getting congratulations messages, and it's obviously not me. And you think if you don't have the likes and the follows that you're failing, which is just not true. Not true. I've been selling online since I hit my first 5K month with 300 followers. So I was already good at this. So you don't need the followers. But also, a lot of you might be thinking, for all the effort we put in on social media, I should be further along than this. The business should be doing better. A few people nodding. It's frustrating. And what if I post the wrong thing? Is anyone scared of saying the wrong thing, getting too political? What if I upset people? What if my team upset people? So we're all worried about that. There's no way I can get my team involved in this. They might not want to post as well. Find that a lot when I train bigger teams. And I don't know how to stand out in a crowded market, particularly on LinkedIn, which is getting even more competitive. So if any of that is ringing true for you, it's likely, before we get into how to sell on LinkedIn, that there's a few things that you need to focus on first. So I teach 6 things to sell online. There's only 6 things you need. If you can do all of those 6 things, you tend to make sales, right? So if you are thinking any of those things, it's likely that there's a little bit of work to do on your offer, your credibility, your reliability, or your resilience. So if you're thinking any of those things, we need to nail some of that first. Hands up if you think you're absolutely shit hot at what you do. I want to see more hands than that, ideally. So some of you will be thinking, I'm amazing at this, and what if I could just get in front of the right person? So hands up, if you get in front of the right person, they always buy. Does that happen to anyone? Where they're just like, if I can just get across the table from them, they will actually spend money. So this is famous Laura in the future. This is me in Hollywood with AI Dave. And I will be the next Stephen Bartlett, maybe. But a lot of people think that if they can just get more visible, then this will happen. If I can just get more visible, my business is going to explode. But I just can't get in front of the right people. There's some kind of barrier. And also, when they sit down to get visible, they're like, is there a handbook to this? What am I supposed to be doing? And the reality is, do we have any marketers in the room? So if you're not sure, you might be, you might not be. So it can be really frustrating if you're a marketer, because you're like, I'm supposed to be good at this. Why is this eluding me? And also, it's frustrating if you're not a marketer because you're trying to do the skill set of something where people have paid quite a lot of money for it. So it's a really frustrating thing. And for you guys who think, I'm an expert at this, if I can just get seen by the right people, it's often that you start posting and you think LinkedIn is just going to reward me if I show up. If I just keep posting, if I say I'm at the Festival of Entrepreneurs, someone will find me. And that's simply not the case. We have to have a conversion strategy in place. Or if people hear me explain it, if I talk at them about how amazing this is, they're going to buy. Again, another myth. If you talk at people in sales, typically they're probably less likely to buy. You're going to overwhelm them. And I need to share more tips. So how many of you think I need to share more education? I need to actually, yeah. So you actually want to start teaching people and say, if I just give them more stuff, they're probably going to buy. Also not true. And people will choose me if I'm not salesy. That is absolutely not the case. Not the case. So we need to get a little bit salesy. So I want to show you how you can do that really easily. So if that all rings true, it's likely visibility and sales is the problem. So I don't just teach LinkedIn. There's no point me teaching you how to sell on LinkedIn if you get on a call and then you can't actually convert, because you're just going to burn through leads. So if you want to know more about the 6 steps to selling online, it's a free video. It's about 10, 15 minutes. Just WhatsApp me the word 6. If you've already scanned the code, you can just WhatsApp me. If you've not yet, just scan that and it will bring up my phone number and you can send me a message. So that will break down the 6 steps you need to sell online, so you can make sure that you have them all in place. So what does LinkedIn want? So I was on LinkedIn's creator program. I've actually spoken to them directly and I've asked them about things like selfies, etc. And they said, please stop posting selfies. We don't want that. Some of my best posts are me just, in my dressing gown. So like whatever they want, they can't actually get, because you can't get around human psychology. We actually want to connect with each other. So what LinkedIn wants is knowledge transfer. Hands up if you are an expert in something. If you are an expert, LinkedIn actually wants you to be on the platform. It says itself that it wants to push credible information. So it wants to bring all these experts together and it wants to put you in front of other people in your industry. That's what it wants, which means you can put out pretty dry content and it still can do quite well. Some of the content that's performing right now is not particularly special. And it also wants sophistication and conversation. So if you are posting and leaving, it's likely that you won't make sales. Most of my sales have actually come from conversation in the DMs. So I tend to post and then I actually contact everybody afterwards in the DMs. I have real conversations in the comments, and that's what makes the money. So if you're not doing that, then that's the strategy that I recommend. So if you're already posting, just get into the DMs as much as possible, even if it feels awkward. So that's what it wants. What you don't need is 10,000 followers. So I have loads of clients that have a couple of thousand followers or less, and like Rachel, she sold $5,000 masterclass and she was brand new to LinkedIn. So you don't need lots of followers. Don't let that stop you. If you've got them, then great. They do help, but that's a different strategy. So on your profile, this is what your profile looks like. Headline, contact information, funnel, about section, and banner. So most LinkedIn trainers are going to teach you how to go through all of this information and set it up, but that's not actually helpful for you, because you can get by with information that, like my about section, it's okay now, but I've never really focused on it because that's not what's going to convert people. So I want to give you the stuff that's going to convert. So you've got this at the top of your profile, and then as you move down, you've got links and you've got your categories of all of your content. So the first thing that's really important is this very top bit. So this is free advertising space. So ideally, it would be branded, but you don't need branding. But the main thing that everyone should see on your profile is some kind of call to action. So it needs to say either what you do, what you sell. Don't be afraid of being salesy. I will put up there's a free LinkedIn training, come and get it. And you are not wedded to this. You don't have to stay with this for life. You can change it every day. So I change mine with every campaign that I'm doing. I test different things. So you do not need to keep the same thing at the top. It doesn't need to be perfect. You can keep changing it. So this was the one that I started out with. This is what grew me to 10,000 followers. I made it in Canva. It's not particularly special. It was just grow your service business. So the most important thing you can do on LinkedIn right now is to put something at the top which is a call to action, which tells them what you do or asks them to take an action. So for example, when I was doing the LinkedIn training, like I said, it's not available now, but in September, I was doing LinkedIn training. That's what's sat at the top. That's it. And then I'll change it back. So this is your free advertising space. And you've got a couple of seconds to wow them before they move on. And ideally, we want them to hit follow. We don't even want them to book a call necessarily. We don't even want them to click on something first time. We want them to actually follow us and show some kind of interest, and we can do the rest. If they actually do click, that's amazing. So that's the most important part. You don't need branding. Like I said, one of my clients had, I couldn't find the banner because she changed it now, but at the top it was a white page and it said, I spent 3 hours on Canva for this. And that was all she had with 1,000 followers. And she grew her following through just having that at the top. So don't worry about branding if you don't have it. The next bit that is really, really important is this headline at the top. So mine says brutal blonde. What does it say now? teaching you to get clients. It says brutal blonde who knows a bit about making money online right now. The reason this is so important is because as you move around LinkedIn, as you leave comments, you have about 45 to 49 characters in which to get people to click on your profile. So that is arguably the most important part of your LinkedIn profile, because if that is boring, no one's going to click. If it says founder of a company they've never heard of, they're not going to make it to your profile, which means they're not actually going to click on any links. They're not going to follow you. They're not even going to get there. So you can spend all your time on that profile, but nothing's going to happen as a result. So we want to make sure that it has power words or emotional words or some kind of pattern interrupt. I put brutal in there as a joke, and now my company is called Brutal Marketing Academy. It was a joke 2 years ago, and I get a lot of messages about it. So we want to kind of interrupt the platform. And I just picked this one out because, as you can see, if you look at the comments, and that shows up on your page, this was the person that looks the most appealing in those comments. So I just picked them out. The next thing that's the most important, so we've got the top bit, which is your call to action that's branded. You've got your headline, which is making sure that people click through. The next bit is the funnel that's further down. So I had Get Leads and Make Sales Weekly. That came into my newsletter where I help people get leads and make sales weekly. So what this means is that I'm asleep at night and someone can see my profile and go, well, that sounds intriguing. I don't have to speak to her. I'm not worried about her selling to me. She's not going to DM me. I can actually click something without being bothered by her. And I know that's terrible, but most people actually don't want to be bothered by a sales conversation. How many of you want me to come into the audience now and start selling to you? You don't. So we have to give them a way to actually engage with you and get nurtured without you necessarily being there. And that link is so, so crucial. Most people get it wrong because they have a book a call link. Does anyone have a book a call link? Or maybe their website? Website is okay, portfolio might be okay, but the actual tagline, whatever you say at that top of funnel, is really, really crucial. And again, if you can use power words, emotional words, or some kind of call to action, that's going to make sure that when they get there, they click through and it intrigues them. So I would lead with whatever result is that you get, any kind of result. So if you're not sure what to put in that link and you don't yet have a marketing lead magnet, you can message me on WhatsApp with the word capture. It's going to give you some AI prompts to understand what your audience might want. The more you put into that AI prompt, the better, because it's going to give you a more accurate reflection of what your audience might want to see. So when you message the word capture, it'll send you the prompts and it's going to give you lead magnet ideas. Then you can turn that into something and create a clickable link for it. But of course, if you don't have a CRM, so most of you, if you are operating with a team, you probably have a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, then you need a CRM to actually bring people off platform. So we don't want to rely on the platforms to always be there because they have control of everything. We want people to actually come into our platform. So we have a platform called Brutal OS, and it's a one-stop shop. It does absolutely everything. We give a 30-day trial of it, so if you ever want to test it out, it's a really affordable platform that I chose myself. The next bit that's really important is your featured section. So in your featured section, you can use it for one of two things. You can either put testimonials so that people trust you. So if you have worked with Coca-Cola, we have worked with Coca-Cola as long as they give their consent. But if you can put something on there which is about credibility, so I just load loads of testimonials in here because in this industry of like business coaching, marketing consultancy, hands up if you've been burnt by a marketer or a business coach or a mindset coach. Has anyone been burnt before, given them money and nothing came of it? You're already up against it. You're already up against like problematic objections to what you're selling. So we want to load this with credibility. So I just put loads of testimonials from there, from actual people. For you, it might be something else. It might be logos, or it might be a link out to something that you do. So sometimes I will have my LinkedIn training on there. When I'm actually selling it in one of those months, I'll put it in here and go, look, here's a free LinkedIn training, or join the challenge, or whatever this looks like, and I'll pop it in the features section. Again, this is free advertising space. So you want them to scroll down, you want them to see the heading, and then you want them to scroll down and see the link, and you want them to see the features section. If you don't get anything else right, you will have done a good job. Those three things are the main things that we need to get right. But what do you do after you've got your profile set up for sales? So let's look at your posts. So again, there's three things that I can teach you. What to write to create content, neuroscience of marketing, and the structure and format of your posts. What I'm going to focus on is what to write and call to actions, because that's the most important thing right now. There's 4 types of content that I teach and 4 types of content that when I work with clients we create. So the first one is growth content. This is your virality. This is what gets people to like, gets people to follow you. So the first thing that you want to do is not sell anything. And that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. So you actually want to collect your target clients as much as possible. So I might spend a month to 3 months. I spent 3 months last year, and all I did was post viral type content, growth content, stuff that people are interested in, stuff about chocolate biscuits, stuff about past stories, about what life was like, and I linked it back to business and marketing, and I collected loads of small business owners. Because after I've done that, I can go into the other 3 content types which are crucial. There's actually 13 that you can create, but these are the ones you need to know. So once you've collected all these ideal clients, you can start to talk about the problems that they have. So I will talk about leads and sales, and I will do it to death. So I might talk for about 2 to 3 weeks about how to get leads and sales, why you're not getting them, what's the solution. Then I will go into objection content. So once I've proved to you that I have some kind of solution, that I do it differently, then I will actually say, look, I know you've been burnt before by a marketing agency. This is what I do differently. Look, I know you're struggling to get your first client. Look, I know you want to get to 7 figures, but you can't scale your marketing from this place. So I'll start to look at all the things that my client are thinking and the reasons they might not work with me, and I'll start to talk about that after the problem content. So I'm going through a process. So they like me because they've seen something about growth or some kind of story. They know I can solve a problem and I've got a method. And then I'm actually talking their language and I'm relating to their situation. Then I can start selling. And only then do I start selling. And the great thing about this is you don't have to do it in order. So I've got some clients who do this. Monday, they'll do a growth post. Tuesday, they'll talk about the problem. Wednesday, they'll do some objection content. And then Thursday, Friday, they might go, okay, I'm taking on 3 new clients. And this is how you get in touch with me. Because what we know about social media is it's not linear. So people aren't just going through this process all the time. They're actually seeing content that's a few weeks old now, which is frustrating. So you can actually mix this up. And as long as you know these buckets, you can make sure that you're always hitting the right people. You don't need to be an expert in copywriting. You do not need to post every day. I post every day because I'm apparently a psychopath that loves LinkedIn. You don't need to do that. You need to post high quality. Don't burn yourself out with this. So I have lots of clients who only post 3 times or sometimes ghost the platform completely and do really well and then come back to it. So you get to break the rules. But what you need for high converting posts, they've got to have a message. They've got to have an attention or hook or some kind of grabbing statement at the start. A copywriting formula, you don't need to be a good writer, you just need a framework. Visual appeal, if you can make it look nice, that's even better, but raw posts actually do better. And a request for action. So one of the best things that I can give you, if you WhatsApp me the word content, it's going to give you this table. So before I work with anyone, I get them to run this AI prompt first, which gives them all of their content pillars and all of the things that they need to talk about. So what I do is I say, can you fill out this table for me? So I will say, I'm a recruiter selling recruitment services to this ideal client, and I can promise this. And then I'll say, I want a list of my clients' problems, at least 10, down the y-axis, and the following questions answering against each problem on the x-axis. And then I give a list of problems. And it throws out a really boring table like this. But what that means is that if you have this table, you can create your whole post. And all I do is go from column 1 all the way to column 10, and I create this post. I'm not going to read it out because it's done. But that's how you create it, and you can just switch it up. And once you've done that, you can just add in your own touches. So in this, I added in a scenario. So I added, you spent 4 hours on one post again, because actually a lot of people do that. I changed the language, so I said, clients who can afford to pay you. Wouldn't it be nice if everyone had budget that we ended up speaking to? And I added my own credibility at the bottom. So I said, I've got a 100% success rate if you implement over 6 months. I actually talk about the credibility. So you get to go through this table. So if you WhatsApp content, it will send you that prompt. And if you run that, that's what you should be talking about. That's what your content plan is. It's literally that simple. AI is ruining it for all the marketers. And then all you need to do if you're posting that kind of sales content is to pair it with a client story. So if you have testimonials, if you have clients, point A, so where were they at before they worked with you or before they tried your product? Point B, where are they at now? What kind of transformation did they get? What method did you use? So I used just a really simple method. It was, I can't read it on here, tripled her goal, challenged her mindset, market research. Show a picture of the client or get them on video. Don't just use these kind of like quotes where you put like a green background and a quote. People don't trust them because I can just make it up. I can tell you whatever I want right now. You need them on video or you need a picture of them. This was me and my client in the gym. And a CTA with a benefit. So I'm going to show you the kind of call to action that you need. So when you do a call to action, does everyone know what a call to action is? Good? So when you do a call to action, if you say DM me for more info or check this website for more info, people are less likely than if there is a benefit on the end of a call to action. And you can use this in your sales conversations too. So what I see a lot online are these kind of statements. DM me for details, comment to know more, subscribe today, follow for tips, try it now, grab your ticket. These convert at a lower rate than if you put some kind of benefit to taking the action on the end. And 74%, I had to write this down because I wanted to get it right, 74% of consumers say they distrust content that sounds too generic or filled with buzzwords. So if you say, DM me for details, 74% of people, because it's generic, are probably going to distrust you just out the gate. So what we want to say is things like this. So DM me to steal 5+ hours back a week. We want to give a benefit on the end. Comment and I'll hand you the blueprint, just copy and paste. So they actually get something. Subscribe for a fresh batch of AI prompts every Monday. That's a reason to sign up to a newsletter. So we want to actually put something on the end which benefits them, which will increase your conversion rate. It's going to get people to click even more. And you can use this on landing pages, blogs, newsletters, plaster this everywhere. Even if a marketing company kind of tells you to do something different, this is what you want to be doing. You want to be kind of putting out there what benefit there is to them. But if you really want to grow on the platform, all of this information is about sales. If you want to grow on the platform, unfortunately, it's about personality. So what's working on LinkedIn right now is opinions, if you can stomach them. I can't always, but I do like to share an opinion. People might come for you. The least controversial opinion I used this week was, do you prefer a cream egg or a fruit and nut? It got about 20,000 impressions, which just made me angry. Like, come on, people, we're better than this. It got hundreds of comments, but it meant that it gave my account a surge, and there was lots of people to speak to. And then the next post I did well off the back of it, just because my content was kind of like trending. But it's not going to make people sign up with me talking about cream eggs. It's not going to make people sign up. So you have to have a balance of your content. And also, humor will leave an impression. So 20% of brands use humor, and 90% of consumers are more likely to remember content that is funny. So if you are funny, if you can use comedy, 90% of people are more likely to buy from you, which is amazing, right? So if you want the AI prompts, if you want a way to, so one thing we've not touched on today, we've not touched on hooks. So the first line of your LinkedIn post is crucial because there's a little see more button at the bottom. So if you click the see more button, it opens it up. It's telling LinkedIn that you're interesting. So that first line is absolutely crucial. So I have got a hook writer. It's a little chat GPT thing. So if you put your details in, you'll get AI prompts, hook writer, 6 steps to scaling, and LinkedIn guide as well. There's LinkedIn guides on my stand or on the seats. But that's not all. So if you use LinkedIn as your primary platform, it can open up 5 different lead generation strategies for you. So I'm going to run through very quickly what those 5 are. So first of all, the lead magnet, when I said WhatsApp me the word capture, if you create a lead magnet, it means that you can capture people and they go into your sales process, which means that you can open up content marketing on any of the platforms. And all you do is you direct everybody into one converting asset. Just start with one, something everyone wants to download. So mine is LinkedIn training. Everyone wants LinkedIn training, which means that you can open up inbound DMs as well. So if you're doing content marketing, you can get people to message you to book calls, buy your products. And if we're doing content marketing, it opens up outbound DMs. So whenever someone likes my post, I'll send them a message. If they comment, I'll send them a message. If they follow, I'll send them a message. If they connect with me, I'll send them a message. I am tired. I send a lot of messages when I'm on it. It's a lot. But those turn into revenue. And outbound DMs made me 149 grand in my first year, just from going through that process. So it works. It's a bit tiring, but it works. And when you've got outbound DMs going, if you don't want to go into a sales process, you can send them this amazing lead magnet and go, look, I don't want to be forward, but I could help you with this. Here's my free LinkedIn training. Take it or leave it. Take a step back. And you don't feel like you're trying to convince them to work with you. And if you have all of this in place, you can open up your email marketing because you've got their details. So all of a sudden, you've got email marketing working as well. Take a picture at the end. There's no point. When I get to the end, you can take a picture. Or you just have loads of the same picture. But also, if you've got your email marketing working, if you click on one of my emails, I know. I actually go and look, and I'm like, oh, look, Joe's clicked. Joe so-and-so. Let me see if they're on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to send them a message because they're interested. So it actually opens up me having a conversation with them. And if I'm speaking like this, I can actually share my lead magnets with you. So I'm still sending you to the same assets. And if I'm speaking, some of you will come straight into my sales process. So some of you have spoke to me at the stand and said, yes, I want to book a call. I want to see how to work with you. And some of you will go, no, I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to follow you on LinkedIn. And then you're in my content marketing process. So all of a sudden, the ecosystem is working and it's being underpinned by LinkedIn. And also, if you are doing cold outreach, which is really, really difficult, and typically open rates are low, conversion rates are low, there's, if you WhatsApp me the word cold, it will send you an email template that you can use for high converting cold email. And it means that if you send out cold emails, you can get them into your sales process. But if you have a lead magnet, it means that you have a light touch way of nurturing them and collecting their details to see who's interested, because cold takes longer to convert as well. So if you have LinkedIn working, you can operate this whole ecosystem using just templates, using a VA in the Philippines if you want to, from really low cost. And this is what I do. This is how I run my business. And I underpin everything with LinkedIn, and it all works together through one asset. Go. Yeah. No, yeah, external. So you can build your own list, which means that you're not at the mercy of LinkedIn and whether they're active or not. Because one of the problems some of you might have is whether people are actually active on LinkedIn. So we want to get them off the platform as fast as possible. So this is the final slide, by the way. So this is the kind of process that solo business owners can access that the seven-figure businesses are doing, that you feel like you don't necessarily have time to operate, or even if you're at seven figures and beyond, a lot of them don't realize that you can have all of this in place with templates and VAs. That's your content marketing. Yeah, so that's my speaker strategy. Yeah, or even if you're exhibiting, that would be kind of like speaking, actually getting in front of people. There's way more than this, but this is the ecosystem that sits underneath LinkedIn. So what we're offering right now is, if you want a free strategy call, if you want to see how this works, if you want to learn about the programs, we have everything from £47 all the way up to 30 and 50K retainers for consultancy. If you want a free strategy call with us and you've not already booked at the stand, if you scan this, you get to speak to me, speak to the team, and we'll break everything down for you. And all you need to do is tell us as much as you can about your business. And what I would say is, we will tell you if this is not right for you. So we will say, actually, I turn a lot of people away and say, LinkedIn's not the best place. I actually recommend you go into the other strategies and someone else might be able to help you. If it's perfect for you, I will tell you. And like I said, everyone who actually implements over a 6-month period has got leads and made sales. So what I like to tell people is where it's not worked. So anyone who is in coaching or career coaching, it's sometimes more difficult, not always. So I've had a couple of people where we've needed to extend the life of the program to help them out a little bit more, particularly those people who are in full-time jobs. Everyone else, there has been no issues with using this strategy to actually make sales and get leads on LinkedIn.
Thanks for watching this special episode from the Festival of Entrepreneurs. Our mission is simple: to help founders and business owners grow faster, think bigger, and take action. And if you were part of the event, thank you for joining us and being part of the community. And if you missed it, don't worry. We'll be back with even more ideas, inspiration, and opportunities to help you take your business to the next level. You can find out more and register for future events at festivalofentrepreneurs.co.uk.